There's Wagner.
Boston, #1 in the NBA in three-point makes per game.
There's Wagner.
Attempts per game and three-point ball they have played this season. Tatum, the spin.
I was just trying to see how old you are.
I'm not that old, my man.
Banchero
I'm 45, not 65.
KCP, the three, high arcer over Horford, no good. Banchero gets it back and scores. Tatum, shot clock off, 3 seconds. Tatum fakes one way, goes the other way, and throws it down. With 0.8 of a second to go, Tatum with an exclamation mark.
Magic season on the brink. Boston looking to join Indiana and Cleveland in the second round.
Tatum, the first three of the game for Boston.
Again, Bataze guarding Tatum.
Three ball. Go! Jason Tatum's got 26. Tatum, the three. 29!
Oh, wow. Those young Thundercats in Minnesota are hungry.
Tatum, deep triple try. He's fouled. 4-point play opportunity. Jason Tatum, back-to-back 30-point games.
All game long for the Magic from behind the three-point line.
All season long, 30th in NBA in three-point percentage. Tatum gets his first bucket. Harris hounding Pritchard. 8 on the shot clock. Cornette looking for Tatum. Tatum throws it down.
Excellent pass by Cornette.
Tatum has scored 73 points over his last 2 games. Did not play in game 2 with a right bone bruise. Tatum, the step back on Banchero.
That's tough.
The Celtics have made at least 1 3 in every half of basketball they have played this season. Tatum, the spin, and he wins that individual battle. Boston down by 6. Boston, #1 in the NBA in three-point makes per game, three-point attempts per game, and three-point percentage. They're 10th in the league.
There's Wagner.
Great move right there by Wagner.
Thriller of a game, seeing Indiana get a 119-118 win over Milwaukee in a wild game.
Here's Wagner driving for Orlando. Nabil mentioned the word physicality. There's been a lot of that in this series. Franz Wagner driving. Wagner getting the roll.
And one. That's tough right there.
And they committed 6 turnovers over the first 12 minutes. Wagner, one-handed runner goes, so Wagner now up to 9. 10 assists on 11 made Boston field goals. They're back within 6.
Hauser saw Wagner turn his head and cut right to the basket.
Wagner drives, gets tipped in by Isaac, and Boston's going to call a timeout.
Wagner, 7 on the shot clock. Playing with Cornette out there. Wagner, the step back. Wagner over the 7-2 Cornette.
Wendell Carter Jr. on the island trying to guard Jaylen Brown, advantage Brown, and he took advantage.
Wagner, one-handed floater.
His last 2 games, he combined for only 3 points. 4 points here tonight.
Wagner hasn't hit a 3. Drives on Porzingis. Off the window. He's got 21.
And he likes that matchup.
Player not named Jason Tatum to hit a 3 for the Celtics. Wagner misses. Loose ball to Carter, rejected by Horford.
What a block by Horford.
Wagner gets the floater. They were 0 for 7 to start the game. Wagner, no look behind the back flipping.
Was he even looking at the basket?
Pritchard hounded by Black. Over to Brown. Brown thinks about it, then pulls. Remember when Boston couldn't hit one from 3? Wagner driving on Cornette. Rejection.
We talked about his defense.
Horford to Brown. 3. You betcha! He tied it at 91 with 4:18 to go. But they saw the experienced Celtics go on a run. There's Paolo Banchero, first points of the night for Orlando.
For Al, the senior citizen.
That's right, just the second player 38 or older to have 5 blocks in a playoff game. Here's Banchero. It rattles in. Horford going up and couldn't get it to go down. Up to Banchero. Banchero, bucket and 1.
I was just trying to see how old you are.
I'm not that old, my man.
Banchero
I'm 45, not 65.
KCP, the 3, high arcer over Horford, no good. Banchero gets it back and scores. But somehow he didn't get a tech, and nobody got a tech in that instance, that situation with Tony Brothers. Here is Banchero. So when Banchero went out, as you mentioned.
But in these playoffs, I will say some of those fouls have had a little bit extra spice on them. Just a little bit. They want, the Orlando Magic want to make sure you know when you've been fouled.
Turnover. Here comes Carter. And now it's a 13-8 lead for Orlando. 6-point lead for the Magic. Magic shooting 4 of 12 from 3. Wendell Carter, the 15-foot jumper.
In there for Kristaps Porzingis. Here's Joseph driving on Pritchard. No, Carter, the offensive board and put back. Wagner, he's 0 for 4 from distance. Banchero, no-look feed for Wendell Carter Jr.
Nice pass by Banchero right there.
At one point, calling a 60-point game between Cleveland and Miami. Parker stuck it out through every minute. He watched all 48 minutes of that game.
He better than me. I logged off after the first quarter.
Porzingis, mismatch there. The double comes over. Great feed to Hauser.
Great pass by Hauser. Great pass by Porzingis. The Boston Celtics seize control in this third quarter, up 10 points right now. The last thing you want to do is close this quarter out poorly and end up down 15, 20 points.
Hauser from downtown.
9 of 13 from the field.
There's Hauser. 2-point tries, good. And then the Celtics went on a 30-9 run. Hauser. Now they can't miss from deep.
Pouring it on. I know your plays, you know my plays. Tired of seeing you. It's supposed to get a little chippy.
Pritchard lays it in, forcing a timeout for Jamal Mosley.
Orlando's going to double. That's smart defense right there. Do not allow Tatum to go one-on-one with a weak defensive player.
Pritchard! As it is desperation mode for the Magic with their season on the line. Pritchard, deep triple try.
And it looked like the Magic went to a little bit of a zone right there.
Pritchard, he's a call for a push-off, misses. Comes back to Pritchard. White, back to Pritchard. Pritch, please!
You've been waiting to get that one off all game. Powell's just scratching the surface, which is scary for the rest of the league. So there's still a lot of things in his game that he can improve on. He feels one day he will be in the MVP conversation. You have two great scorers when you look at Banchero and Wagner. They can absolutely get it done as they've been carrying this team in this series. But there's not enough shooting between those two guys. As we see KCP knock down a triple.
He made his name winning 2 titles shooting threes for the Lakers and Nuggets.
That was first 3. KCP coming up with a steal. Now he gets it back. Is he feeling it? Maybe.
Definitely is. Listen, we know this young man has that championship level pedigree.
And Mo Wagner was right up there with Peyton Pritchard in terms of 6th Man of the Year honors when Wagner went down. Banchero kicks it for Black. 3 goes down. Just the 6th made 3 for Orlando.
And took care of their business in this series. You don't want to play around. You don't want to have your guys getting out there tired more.
Outside of the first round for the first time in more than 4 decades. That's Anthony Black with the nice move for the Magic.
Outburst tonight. Orlando's up by 9. Tatum shovels it to Cornette. He scores and a foul.
Celtics looking to join the top-seeded Cavaliers and Indiana in the second round. Luke Cornette and Jamal Mosley calling a timeout, and he's screaming at the official. Led by 2 at the break. It's now 94-71 Boston. Brown looking for more. Drops it off for Cornette.
Great extra pass right there by Brown.
Detroit and New York right now, game 5. 70-61 lead for the Pistons. Jonathan Isaac, uncontested dunk.
This team needs rest in the worst way.
Down low to Isaac, nobody there to contest. 8-0 Tatum run, who is now 30 for his last 30 from the free throw line. Boston within 1.
Shot clock off, 2 seconds. Harris at the buzzer, knocks it down. Now a 19-12 game in favor of the Magic. Game 5, Orlando trying to keep their season alive. Cole Anthony in for the first time tonight, looking to give them a spark.
Yeah, sometimes there's going to be turnovers when you push the pace, but Orlando's going to have to roll the dice because they're not scoring that well in the half court. They're going to have to get transition buckets tonight.
Porzingis, his second consecutive possession, getting a shot off.
Porzingis scores it and one. A nice find from Tatum.
Magic, the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference.
And Cole Anthony Lee is the wild card for this Magic team. As we see Porzingis with the and one. He's in position to do just that.
Celtics have yet to make a 3, 0 for 5. White, the floater goes down. Derek White with his first points of the game.
As Jordan Walsh has it over to Torrey Craig. Craig, good on a 3, the 12th made 3 of the game.